welcome back to the Diverse Beats podcast. So this week we are going to be looking at oh God, this is how it started.
Yeah.
Composure. So we're going to be looking at what radio pluggers do and kind of what, as an artist, you should be looking at for radio pluggers. So as ever, we'll kind of start from the very beginning. So what is a radio plugger, guys?
Well, a radio plugger company, as what we do, which is like Diverse Beats, and there are a few more companies out there that does what we do. But obviously, we do it better, not because it's our company, but it's because we genuinely do it better in a lot of many ways. And what we do is basically, all jokes aside, what we do is quite, to simplify it, is we get the client's song from the client, or the songs, album, single, EP, whatever it is, and then we send it out to the designated destinations, such as the radio stations or the DJs, all depending on the category, the genre of the music. So we create tailor-made campaigns, and then we send them out to the people who the client actually can't do that themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Perfect explanation.
Exactly.
Jess, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, I suppose I'd just say a radio plug is basically a middleman that gets your music out into the world onto radio stations and heard by lots of people. So yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. Cool. I mean, I have nothing to add to those explanations. They're pretty spot on, to be honest.
Come on. You must have something to add to that.
How have I got anything else to add to that? Okay.
I mean, you sent something to me today about iTunes, so I mean, I'm pretty sure you must have something.
Oh, sensitive topic.
No, literally, I'm just messing. But yeah, if you don't have anything to say, it's perfectly fine. No, I'm just messing.
Okay. Now it's really awkward.
No, I'm just getting this as natural as possible, so people actually can see that, you know, we are obviously, we do get serious when the time is to get serious.
Yeah.
But we're not all this. So what would you like to say?
Oh,
no, fair enough. Okay, I'll contribute to it, I guess. Radio plugger is somebody that works alongside an artist and helps them to get the airplay that they deserve. And yeah, I mean, that's what you guys said too. So if an artist is looking for a radio plugger, what qualities and what should they be looking at with the company that they've been approached by or are thinking of approaching?
I would say think about your music and your brand and what kind of audience you're looking for to hear it, who you think would be particular fans of your music, see where similar artists get radio play, and then think, is this radio plugger, do they have connections for me within those stations? That's what I would do.
Cool.
And then decide based on that.
Yeah, brilliant.
To me, I mean, I would do a research about if they can really cater for my music. Because it all depends on the genre of the music you're trying to promote. So obviously, a lot of companies out there. I mean, I've done a huge research before I established Diverse Beats, and I checked out the company's websites. And I'm not dissing no one, but I mean, majority of them didn't give enough information, and it wasn't easy to access the information that I needed. So I had to do some background research from people that had actually previously worked with the company. I'm talking. From clients to people who are actually worked within the company themselves. So I've asked some questions. So what are the prices are like, or what are the, you know, crowds are like? Do you, you know, cater for this crowd or for that crowd? You know what I mean? And that's, I believe, what an artist should do before they approach a company, or maybe when they approach a company, they should actually ask questions whether if they can really cater for the kind of music they produce.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's definitely the first place that you should look at. You know, is it genre specific? Do they have the contacts that you don't have? Because the whole reason of having a radio plugger is because they should be able to get you to the next level of your career that you don't maybe have those contacts for right now. And you have to think about what can they offer you versus what can you offer them. See it as like you know, like you would with a label. You know, it has to be a win-win situation for both. So definitely do your research on genres, on who they've worked with. Do they update their database all the time? Are they always growing that, or is it kind of, this is where the company started and this is, you know, you want to know their growth and the level of that, you know, is it a daily thing, is it a weekly thing, have they signed some great artists, have they signed some great DJs? So I would definitely say make sure they're right for you and you're right for them as well.
Definitely.
Brilliant. Anything anybody would like to add, or are we all good?
No.
I mean, I would also check the actual the connections they might have. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, genre is one thing, but how far do they extend? How far do they go with the countries? Maybe which countries do you have connections? In? Which radio stations?
Yeah.
You know, genre is cool, but if you're only based in the UK and you're not catering another country, then that's still going to do you well, but only so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if the company is actually going above and beyond and going to different countries from, you know, maybe Latin America to Europe to Asia, then that's even going to do even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you have to think about, what do you want out of it? What do you want? Where do you see your career going? And with that, you can kind of get the, as Serhat said, you know, go international. Do you want those big radio plays on like Radio 1, BBC 1 Extra? Or are you quite happy with independent radio stations? Because neither of those are wrong. It's just about what you want as an artist and where you kind of see your journey going. And obviously pricing is something that you'll need to definitely consider. There's a lot of companies out there that unfortunately do overcharge for kind of versus the ratio of what they're asking for versus what they're offering doesn't match. So I would definitely maybe get like a top 3 radio pluggers that you want to approach, and then kind of do the pros and cons against each of them as well.
Definitely.
Cool. So obviously for me and Jess, we are PR specialists, but I guess our day-to-day jobs within the company are quite different. You look at kind of getting those more the contacts more, whereas I'm a bit more artist based, and Serhat, you just kind of oversee it all. So I guess it would be really cool if we could kind of individually just kind of go through what a day-to-day job looks like and what we do, because it is all going to be different and we all kind of have our strengths and weaknesses. So whoever wants to start first, take it to the floor.
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, my days are pretty much split between doing uni, because I'm still at uni at the moment, and then working for Diverse Beats. So I would, I'm trying to think of a typical day. I'd probably be on SoundCloud or something like that, listening to artists, seeing if there's any potential, like artists that I think maybe have really good potential, getting in contact with those if I think so, making some notes about what their tracks are, seeing how they could progress, maybe what stations they might get put on. And then I also quite like doing some B2B stuff, so looking at potential connections, getting in touch with them, getting Diverse Beats to the next level as well as a company. So that's what I'd say I tend to do.
Cool, brilliant. So what about you, or do you want me to go next?
Well, I don't really mind if you want. I don't mind. I'm easy.
I'm easy too.
Right,
I just don't want to leave you out.
Shall I go?
You go. Yeah.
You go.
Off I go. So what I do is actually pretty much check out the daily activities on the website. In the morning, what I do is I go on the dashboard and check out and see how are the promos performing on daily basis, especially while I'm asleep, which is like 6 to 7 hour time period every day. So when I wake up, I just check out the latest activities. And then on Fridays, as you know, we give the latest updates to the artist. I send them to you, or send them to Jess, and then you guys send it to artists. That's what we do. And obviously, meanwhile, I do get more subscribers, more DJs. I try my best to expand our connection so we can cater for our crowd, for more our clients. Because obviously, if we don't expand our connections, our DJs and radio stations, how are we supposed to cater for our clients? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a huge part of my day-to-day business role within the company. As well as I do get in touch with the clients as well myself. I have some good friends, and they send me some clients. I find some clients, but that's mainly what I do.
Brilliant, lovely.
Yeah.
So for me, it's quite similar. So in the morning, I'll look for artists that I see potential with, and that possibly we could work alongside and help to push further into their career. And so that can be on Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, any platform. I kind of try and switch it up each day, just because obviously there is going to be more traffic. And as Serhat said, while I'm asleep, there might be, new posts on Instagram and new posts on SoundCloud. So I do try and switch it up, which keeps it kind of fresh and new for me as well during the week. And then similar to Serhat, I'll be looking at getting subscribers, finding new DJs to get on the database, so it can really optimize the artist's chances of being downloaded and streamed and spun on the radio. And then I look a bit more at the marketing side as well, creating social media posts, creating social media stories, finding more things out about kind of what's going on in the music industry, because it's equally as important for us to understand, so we can help with the artists to make sure that we're jumping on every trend and actually jumping on the trends before they're a trend, and making things happen. So if there's anything that's kind of going on within the social media aspect, but also within the industry, we can be offering that to our artists as well, and really optimizing their success. And then I'll have calls in the afternoon with clients, telling them about the company, seeing what they've done, because for us, we always want to make sure that with whoever. So how are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing. I'm just listening. I'm smiling. I'm literally, I'm enjoying it.
And you were just like,
yeah, that's what I thought as well.
No, I'm literally enjoying it. I'm enjoying listening to you, because it gives me a little bit of insight about what you really, really do. Because I know what you do. But now that you're talking, you're like emphasizing. You're like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing. I'm like, I can see that you're enjoying it as well. That's what I'm liking.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So in the afternoon, I'll do the call. So it's really important for us that we're working with artists that is right for us, but also we're right for them. And so there wouldn't be much point in us kind of chatting to an artist, and if they've already had, say, BBC introducing play, we wouldn't then go and pitch to BBC introducing. So it's important that we get to know their background and get to know kind of their achievements versus their goals, so we can help them to achieve that. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to kind of make money. We're here to help people and help them grow and be part of their journey, really. So and then of course we do the podcast every Wednesday, and it's just a lot of fun. Every day is different, and I think that's personally what I like about the job, because I like a challenge, and I don't like to be kind of doing the same thing all the time. It drives me crazy. So it's definitely very versatile and definitely very fun. So it
gets a bit boring after a certain time when you repeat the same thing over and over again.
I don't think.
No, I mean, look, you spice it up sometimes, because sometimes it might get too repetitive. So, you do something else to change it up a little bit, and then it makes it more interesting. And then,
I mean, at 10:15, I might do marketing instead of subs, might switch it around a little bit, but don't go too well.
No, that's great, man. No, honestly. That's it. But honestly, we do have a very good team of people that working all together. Obviously, not every one of us are able to join the podcast every single week, because obviously we do have individual lives as well. But then we do have a core team that is always there. Even if they can't join the podcast, we still have them at the background doing their part of the journey, which is great. And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Brilliant. So I guess, who do we work alongside? We've touched on it a little bit in terms of radio DJs and artists, but who else do we kind of liaison with to make sure that we're giving the artists the best opportunities to really optimize their potential?
Shall I go?
Yeah, you go first, Serhat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do work. we do work alongside a few companies that are very well known within this industry. Thanks to Jess, we have recently got in touch with Mix Mag Asia, and we have recently started promoting their services with us as well. So that's one of the biggest connections we've made recently. Alongside that, we also work with Handpicked Music from England as well. It's a massive YouTube channel which is getting bigger by the day. So they are also another brother company of ours. We also work with Musician Lab, which is my other company, which we do artist interviews and so on and so forth. You know, we have a lot of services in that company as well. So we also work with them as well. In terms of radio stations, we work with very well-known radio stations, not just within the UK, but outside the UK as well, which you can see all the names when you go on the website. So not to mention here.
Not to brag.
Exactly.
I think Serhat's covered most of them, but in terms of when I try and find new partners for us, I look at smaller labels, maybe some, you know, small, I don't know, techno radio stations online, on SoundCloud, different small partners, which will have a bigger impact, is what I'd say as well.
Brilliant. Cool. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you guys have said, but also for me personally, when I'm working with artists that maybe have already got a team around them, have maybe got managers, there's been occasions where, you know, I've hopped on a call with an artist themselves, and then we've had another call with their management and their team. So we are kind of, we do want to involve the whole team, whether that be labels, whether that be managers, as well as just the artist, because it is important that everyone's involved and everyone's kind of on the same page, and we're more than happy to do that. Of course, we liaison with artists, record labels, and yeah, we work with so many different people in the industry just to kind of make sure that it is going to be possible that everybody has the goals and the success rates that they're after, really. Jess, I guess for you, in terms of finding partners, sorry, I've thrown you off, haven't I? Yeah, in terms of finding partners, because that's obviously something that, I mean, Serhat does as well, but in terms of, for me, it's really interesting to get your perspective. So what are you looking for in partners?
I would just say I look at their artists which they've already got on their roster or their label, or who they seem to be playing, listen to a few of their tracks, kind of get a feel for the label or the radio station, and see, maybe I'd ask for some of their demographics, like what their listeners are like, what kind of listeners, where they're based, what their reach is, and then I'd probably just think, are there artists within our company that might benefit from this partnership? If there is, then I'll probably get in contact with said business and just have a chat, have a Zoom call, see what they can offer and see what they think. So
Definitely.
Brilliant. Yeah, sounds really good. So there's a lot of kind of research before even the contacting stage. That's really brilliant. Excellent. And so I guess the next, we've spoken a lot about how we, you know, what we do, how we can kind of, how we find artists and things like that. But what happens, if we can go into a bit more detail on kind of what happens when we, you know, have an artist that's on a campaign, what are the next steps that we take to ensure that their campaign's successful? Serhat, I'll come to you first.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't hear the conversation, the question, because it froze on my side.
Okay. I was gonna say.
And I believe it is freezing again.
Oh God.
Or frozen.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh no, he's frozen as well.
Hello.
You're back.
Hello.
Can you
Hello.
hear us?
Am I back? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm back
You're
now.
back.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Cool.
good.
So
Fine.
I'll
Okay.
repeat the
Can I please
question.
have the question again? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's fine. Cool. So the question was, so once we've got the artist, we've, they've decided which campaign they'd like to do. What are the next steps then? What, if we could just kind of briefly explain how we get the artist to the radio stations and to keep building on their campaign and making it successful.
Oh yeah. So basically, first thing first, we definitely just identify the genre of the music, whatever, if it's house or if it's disco, if it's R&B, hip hop, or if it's whatever it is. We first identify that, and secondly, we ask for all the necessary information that the artist can provide to us, so actually we can put it in the campaign as well. This goes to this goes to be in the pictures. This goes to be in a bio or a press release from the artist. And their social media links, and definitely MP3 and the WAV, or whatever you want to call it. Some
Technical.
people just, call it WAV, I don't know. But yeah, so basically 2 different types of the version of the songs. And then if it's, and the cover as well, cover of the release. So we get the artist to provide as much information as possible, because it's a campaign. We're not just getting the song, sending it out, see you later. We are doing a whole campaign here, trying to provide as much information about artists as possible, so we can actually talk about the artist. Here is this guy or the girl, this is what they do, this is actually information about them, and here is their music. So the more information the artist can provide, the better it is for themselves, for us as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jess, have you got anything to add to that?
No, I'd say Serhat probably covered most of it.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty much it.
Yeah, cool. No, absolutely. So as Serhat said, we'll ask for the information, and then that's where the fun begins, if you like. And after we've got all that information, we can then send it on to the radio DJs that we think would be beneficial for the artist, but also beneficial for the radio DJs. They do like the exclusive plays. They do like to say they were the ones to support it when the artist goes big. So it has to be a win-win situation on both parties. And for us, it kind of depends which campaign that you're going to choose, and how long the campaign is. So we do 2, 4, 8 and 12-week campaigns, and that kind of varies on how often your track is going to get sent out. We'll just kind of make sure that the track is going to be really good for you as an artist. We're going to bring you some new opportunities, and we'll just keep pushing the track out as often as we can. We also send reminders to radio DJs so that when we understand that everybody's busy. So say we've sent the promo on a Thursday at 12 o'clock or whatever, and they were busy on that day, maybe a couple of weeks later, we'll just kind of give them a little reminder and a little nudge just to say, here's this artist, have a listen, just because then it does optimize the chances of the artist having a successful campaign. And ultimately that's obviously what we want, and that's why we do what we do. It's that's really cool. Perfect. So in terms of
Sorry to pause you on that note, quickly, just a quick question. Would you say, because that's what I think, would you say the longer the campaign, the better the results are? Because it stays on the platform longer, so it gives the artist more of a chance to stay online. And because obviously, as we know, we talked about this previously before as well, people are really, really bad with checking out their emails, and that's a fact. So the longer the campaign stays online, it gives DJs more chance to sort of, find the time to go in their inbox and finally check out the promo, and then download or not download, but at least it will give them the chance to, check it out.
Yeah,
that's a crucial point.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely say the longer the campaign, the better, because of course for us, we, from our point of view, we've got to create the campaign, we've got to send it out to DJs, we've got to get the replies, and then you've got to be spun on the radio. So the longer that it can be is the better, because on average, any PR company, any radio plugin company will say minimum 4 weeks for a pre-release. If you can do 8 weeks, and that's just for a single, if you can do 8 weeks, perfect. If you can do 12, even better, because you're just then optimizing your chances. As you said, Serhat, it's going to be pushed out there more often, it's going to be online more often, and you just never know when people are going to come across it. And you know, a radio DJ might be looking for a promo, he might have a show, you know, next week he might be looking for some music to play, and he, you know, he's been looking for ages, he hasn't found it, and then he comes across your track, and you know, that's it done. If you take that down, you know, a week before, that's a week gone then. So I would definitely say, if you are financially able to do a longer campaign, it would definitely be more beneficial for you.
100%.
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely.
And would you guys say that it's best to do a pre-release and a post-release campaign as kind of like hand in hand, or would you say it kind of depends on what your focus is? Obviously for us, we'll do pre-releases more where the radio plugin kind of comes into it, and then post-releases where we look at more Spotify and YouTube. Do you think they kind of should work hand in hand if possible, or is it goal specific, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything within a campaign needs to be tailored to goals anyway, but I personally would recommend, you know, taking a pre and a post launch campaign, because you need to keep an integrated approach and keep professional, keep it going, and you know, what's the word? I can't think, my brain's gone. Maximize your chances. That's what I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's what I'd say. So both, yeah.
So what about you?
I mean, definitely, I would agree with Jess. She's got a huge, massive point. I believe that's the only point that could be applied to this conversation, because if you just focus on pre-release and then not really care or worry about the post-release because you think your pre-release is going to do the magic, then you're only fooling yourself, because pre-release is very important. It is vitally important, but at the same time, post-release is when you should even double your efforts, because that's when your song is live. That's when when your song is going to need the most attention. So a pre-release and a post-release combined together only if you're financially able to do it, obviously. You know what I mean? We're not trying to force people to do it here, but we are telling them how and what will work best. So definitely a combination of post and pre-release is the best ideal option.
Definitely. And I think you have to think about it as a platform, you know, because for pre-release, people will see, oh yeah, they've got a track coming out in 2 weeks or whatever, however long you leave it to announce. And then people are very busy, people's times are kind of very consumed, and there's a lot of content to consume these days as well. And so I think yes, you can keep doing those constant reminders on social media. You know, if you're doing gigs, you can do those constant reminders there, but people's attention span will just go off, and it's kind of, you have to keep that momentum. Whereas if you've got the physical track there, it's out, it's ready, then you can say, oh, here's my track, you know, go have a listen. People, that's where you're going to start to get that kind of streaming and that engagement there, because the track is physically there. So I do think it's very, very important, and you have to kind of see it as as I said, you've got to see it as a platform. You wouldn't just use Instagram to promote your music, because not every single person is on Instagram. You know, you're going to be using a lot of different sectors. So it's definitely really important that if you can, you do the pre and post release campaigns as well, because obviously not everybody does it like us, and that's fine, but for us, obviously you'll have the radio aspect, and then you're going to get the Spotify and YouTube aspect, and that's so much more traffic coming your way as well. Perfect. Has anybody got any more questions, or do you want me to ask another one?
I don't.
So let's say, you know, the artist has had a call or is having a call with a radio plugger. What questions do you think that they should ask in terms of to get the best pieces of information? So what I mean by that, let me explain that a bit better. So what, you know, like if you were to have a meeting with a record label, you would ask kind of what benefits they can bring to you. So how would an artist go about finding the information from a radio plugger?
I think, again, have your goals very set out, and think what you need to achieve those goals, and do a bit of research on the company prior, say to them in the meeting, these are my goals, how can you help me reach these?
Yeah.
And then ask for evidence of how they've done that before. That's how I'd go about it.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, definitely. I would definitely agree with Jess on that, because if you whenever you're having a call with a radio plugger, XYZ company, you should definitely have all your goals written down 100%, and you should actually ask them those questions, because in this occasion, you're the boss. Artist is the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you are investing money in your career, and the radio plugger company is obligated to deliver the things that you are seeking from them. And if they can't do it, then they should be honest about it. You know what I mean? And that's how we go on about it. And we have definitely rejected artists because we clearly wouldn't be able to deliver their expectations. So we did say no to them, and they were very grateful for that. So I believe artists definitely should ask the necessary questions they have on their minds to be able to clarify all the clouds and make things clear.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've got to ask who people have worked with, just to kind of solidify that they are the right people for you, and that the genre is right. Also, as you said, Jess, ask for examples. People can kind of talk the talk as much as they like, but if there's no concrete kind of evidence, then how do you know that that's really true? And that, I mean, a radio plugger could be as simple as sending you over to their website and their roster and showing you that way. It doesn't have to be like any case studies, because obviously there is a client confidentiality issue there, and you have to make sure like data protection is being met. But also kind of ask them, I guess, why do they want to work with you? What do they see in you? Because you want to make sure that they are wanting to be part of your journey, not because they want to make some money, but because they believe in you, they believe in your music, and they really, really want to make sure that you're able to grow. So I would definitely ask kind of what their intentions are, and make sure that you're happy with their answer before you agree with any signings. And also, I wouldn't rush into a decision. I would definitely, maybe once you've had the meeting, have a day or two to have a think, maybe talk it over with a manager, maybe talk it over with a friend or family member, just to kind of make sure, because I think when we do meetings, there's a lot of information to take in. So you don't want to just go, okay, yeah, or okay, no, I'm not interested. You need to make sure that it's a calculated decision, because there is money going to go into it, and it is an investment, and it's going to be detrimental to your success, and it's your career. So you wouldn't go to a job interview not knowing all the facts. So kind of use it in the same way, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, is there anything else anybody would like to add, or does that kind of conclude the end of the podcast? It is quite a short one.
Yeah, very short one this week. I don't have anything to add, to be fair. I think it's all been quite to the point. So yeah.
I mean, one last thing I would say is the main key point that we talked about this podcast, throughout the whole podcast. Definitely, when you are approaching to a radio plugger company, do your research about them. Make sure that you have a good understanding of where they stand within the industry, and then approach and then definitely ask all the necessary questions and find out if they can really cater for your needs.
Yeah,
that will be
absolutely. And also, just on the back of that, I think there's this weird kind of stigma in the industry at the moment, where it's like, oh, if people are approaching you, then you shouldn't work with them. And I can't get that mentality. Like, I don't understand it.
No.
People are very skeptical, sometimes kind of when we're approaching them. I'm sure we've all had experiences with it, but just be open. You might not kind of want it now, but listen to what the radio plugger, if they've approached you, listen to what they've got to say, because you don't know that in a couple of months' time, when you are releasing, that you won't need their services. And if you've kind of given that bad attitude before, people might not want to help you in the future. So always be open, have your research ready, and be nice.
Yeah,
we're nice. We just want to help. We're not here to scare you off.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I don't get this mentality in the industry of people that approach you aren't looking for, don't really want to help you, because people then contradictory always say, well, if
you've
you're
made
ready,
it, then
people will approach you. And if a manager, if you're ready for a manager, then a manager will approach you. So I don't understand why a radio plugger or a promotional person would be different to that. But yeah, so I would just say, be open, be honest, and be fair to yourself. So yeah, but other than that, if you, as always, if you do have any questions, please do get in touch. Thank you very, very much for listening to the podcast. And if you do have any suggestions on what you'd like us to cover, just feel free to just message us and get in touch, and we'll be happy to cover it.
Yeah. Nothing else to add. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.